Retirement is probably something that many dream of, but everyone has a different version of what retirement will look like. For some, it can be laying on a beach, watching the trees sway, and for others, it is about spending quality time with their loved ones. Although we can do this on the weekends, chances are many of us are stressed about work, about deadlines, household chores, and many other things that come into mind. So what is retirement and how can we best prepare for it? Hi, my name is Jordan and welcome to the channel where we try to hack retirement and try to enjoy life as fast as possible. So retirement by definition is the action or the fact of leaving one's job and ceasing to work. That's the definition by Google, but to me, retirement is more than just that. It can be about having more time to spend with your kids or family without the need of having to think about income and other matters. And as a matter of fact, the secret of retiring is to have multiple streams of passive income that is able to support your lifestyle, which opens up more options for you. So based on MOM's website, the retirement age for Singaporeans will be set at 63 years old by the 1st of July 2022. So before we go bananas and say, we can only retire at 63, look at how much we must work in Singapore.
A city built on the religion of capitalism.
We got to understand the rationale for the set retirement age. If you look at the employment practice on MOM's website, you'll see that the RRA or the Retirement and Re-employment Act has been set to a minimum retirement age to be at 62, but will be subsequently changed on the 1st of July 2022 to 63 years old. What this means is for Singaporeans and for Singapore permanent residents, if you are working in a company, the company is not allowed to ask you to retire before that age. And personally, I see this as a good thing because it protects employees from being fired or being asked to retire, which eventually they will lose their jobs and probably a large source of income. On top of that, if the company continues to hire senior employees, they do get some benefits in wages and etc. But that's not the point of today's video. And if we look at the retirement age across different countries, we are placed at the bottom of the table together with Sweden, Norway, France, and South Korea. So to be frank, our retirement age isn't all that bad. And this is a guideline set by the country or government in this case. But this doesn't mean that one must and can only retire at the age of 62 or 63, but it just means that companies are not able to ask employees to retire before that. Although we don't have a pension scheme like our Western counterparts, we do have a CPF scheme, which we already are contributing as long as we are working and receiving a salary. But we can only get this amount of money in the later part of our lives, like when we are age 55, and if we hit the minimum sum by the retirement age, we'll get compensation as a monthly handout. But let's say now you're around my age, which is in the early 30s. It's probably a good time to start preparing for your own retirement and not to be dependent on the government to provide handouts. Because if you're waiting for handouts, the age will then be by 55. And if you want to retire earlier than that, you'll have to depend on yourself and have a plan, which will probably be the best way forward. And this is why I think my insurance buddies are pretty right about planning for your retirement by putting some money aside every single month, which can grow into larger sums of money in the future. So at the same time, we would like to thank today's sponsor, which is the like button. The like button is the icon at the bottom of this video that will tell the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy this video and will recommend more of such content to you. But at no cost at all, you can also hit the subscribe button, which will notify you when a new video comes up. And all of this costs you $0. So my insurance buddies do tell me to put money aside each month to let it roll after 10 or 20 years. When in that case, by doing that, you'll be able to take out a lump sum of money which can be your nest egg. And I think they are not wrong for saying so, but do not just go ahead and start purchasing insurance because it might not be the best product for everyone, and you can also plan your own retirement without purchasing insurance plans if you have time to do research and time to do it yourself. So from an article, you can see that 45% of retirees regret not planning their finances for retirement. For each of these respondents, there are lessons we can learn and hopefully we do not make the same mistakes as them. So the first biggest regret that many have is not saving and investing enough in their 20s. And I do agree that to an extent, many of us do not invest enough. So saving and investing regularly will enable you to make your money work harder for you, which is really important because of things like inflation and the cost of rising goods. And all these will affect our retirement as well. In 2021, the CPI or Consumer Price Index rose by 2.3%. So CPI or Consumer Price Index refers to a weighted average of prices of a basket of consumer goods and services like transportation, food, and medical care. With all these rising costs, you'll need to have better investment knowledge to ensure that our invested funds can cover these costs for the years to come, because things will only get more expensive. So investing can be as easy as buying a broad index fund like VOO in the US market, or CSPX, which is an Irish domicile ETF which is 50% less taxes than VOO, or even the local STI ETF which yields a 3 to 4% dividend rate. Though the regret that many have was not investing enough in their 20s, you can do it as well in your 30s. And there is no hard and fast rule that you must do it in your 20s to become a millionaire. Personally, it's not wise to have the I missed the 20s age bracket and therefore I have no chance. But think about it, when you're in your 30s, you should be investing and saving even more. Technically, when you're in your 30s or 40s, you'll probably have higher income and more disposable income where you can invest more. For sure, when you're in your 20s, the compounding effect will make a greater difference. But to counter that, you'll have to be more disciplined in your 30s and to save more and to invest more. And I'm sure by doing that, you guys will be doing fine. So the second regret is to have too much debt. And when we talk about debt, there's good debt and bad debt. And chances are many of us have both of them. So I myself used to have debts for my insurance plans because I lapsed in some payments, which I'm not very proud of, and it cost me quite a bit because the premiums kept stacking and adding as time goes by.
Crushing debt.
However, there are good debts like your house mortgage or student loan where the money borrowed is used in something that creates value. And it goes without saying that the less debt you have, the better off you'll be, because it reduces the financial strains that one might have. And to reduce debt, it might be wise to constantly pay premiums, or if possible to bite the bullets and to settle the payment at a go. So this will allow you to stop the interest from accumulating and to reduce the debt all at one time. One of the crucial things that I always preach is to pay your bills and your debts before you start investing, because it will put you in a better position and allow you to think more rationally. And with debts at the back of your mind, there are times that you might get greedy with some investment and over leverage yourself, which might end up putting you into more debt, and it's a dangerous spiral to fall into. The last regret is not budgeting enough for retirement. So this one is very tricky because everyone's lifestyle is different, their upbringing is different, and their financial situation is very different as well. But with good planning and budgeting, it will make retirement a lot easier than just having the wait and see mentality. When it comes to budgeting, one thing to keep in mind is how would you envision your retirement, what will you be spending more of and what you'll be spending less of, and would you be spending more in the future or spending less in the future, and what other financial obligations will you have, as well as how many dependents you will have to take care of. So these are only questions you can answer yourself because we are all different. But if we plan our budgets properly, this will enable us to be prepared for unforeseen circumstances in the future. For example, if we are currently living on $2,000 a month to pay our bills and living expenses, is there a way to reduce the number down lower by having a cheaper mobile plan, eating out less, and having lesser discretionary spending? And if we are able to do that, we can reduce our cost of living and then we'll require less money to retire. But if we are not able to further reduce the spending without affecting the quality of life, then we'll need to have plans to ensure that our quality of life doesn't drop, because there is no fun in retiring if we are always putting ourselves in a tight spot. So this is where the safe withdrawal rate of 4% rule comes into play. So if you take an example that we need $2,000 a month to survive comfortably, this means that we need $24,000 a year, and to ensure that we get at least $24,000 a year without working, we'll need to use the following formula. So if we take the safe withdrawal rate of 4%, which is $24,000, this is the 4% growth of our money or investment. So it can be any kind of investment that you have, but the ideal number here will be 4%. And if you can get something higher than that, then it's a fantastic bonus for you. So with 4% being $24,000, this means that we need to set aside at least $600,000 invested at a 4% rate to give us $24,000 a year or $2,000 a month. And this money will come regardless if we work or we do not work. So the beauty of this formula is that if we just withdraw 4%, which is ideally the dividends, we'll be constantly beating inflation and still get money periodically to support our lifestyle. And definitely, the lower the cost of living, the less we have to invest. The higher your cost of living, the more you have to invest to support your lifestyle. So if things are still pretty confusing about retirement, I only hope that the takeaway you have from this video is to start investing as early as possible. So if you invest $100 every single month into a long-term investment of 5 to 10 years, that $100 invested every month would mean that you are investing $1,200 per year, and in a 10-year period, that will be $12,000 even before compounding. And from this $12,000, you'll earn a total of $2,774.06, which is pretty good. And for those viewers who are not in their early 20s anymore, or in their 20s in that sense, you are not too late. You can still invest for your retirement, but you have to invest more as compared to someone who is currently in their 20s. So assuming that you're in your mid-30s, you can put away $500 every month, and at the end of 10 years, where you'll be in your mid-40s, your initial investment of $60,000 will snowball to almost $75,000, with interest or dividends being around $14,000. And if you continue to do so for a period of 25 years, your investment of $150,000 will become $258,000, which is really amazing. I do hope you guys get these takeaways so you're able to start planning for your own retirement by investing or saving as much as possible to pay off your debts as soon as possible and to adjust your lifestyle that will suit your retirement. If you're looking for a broker to start investing into ETFs, I've left a link in the description down below with Tiger Brokers, where you can get stocks, ETFs from the US market, Hong Kong market, as well as the Singapore markets with really low fees. And if you fund your account $2,000, you'll receive a free stock from Tiger Brokers. So thank you guys so much for watching. Do hit the like button to support the channel, subscribe to get notified on the latest video, and I'll see you in the next one.